Hey guys, Easy Amateur Radio here, and I'm going to do something a little naughty. We're going to open up this Radio Shack radio. This is a 10 meter HTX. Pretty cool radio, super clean. Got it off of eBay, $86. Let's open it up and see what treasures it holds. Who knows, this might be one of the first ones, which is an 11 meter convertible, but I doubt it. So there are several different radios on the market. Optima is a radio similar to it, and they made a radio, same body, same face, different color though. It was white. I really liked it. You could get a lot more power out of it. I was a big fan of it, but the screens kind of go bad in these radios, and the knobs get a little like sticky over time. So a lot of people don't like that. But there were also a few other companies that made this same radio with different software, firmware, however you want to say it, and whichever it is, that allowed it to do 11 meters and 10 meters by moving a controller around. Now, if you look online, some people say early models you can convert, but pretty much you can't. This is basically a very FCC compliant radio. Let's see what the inside looks like. I'm going to go ahead and adjust you where you can see it a little bit better. This radio is so clean. This is where the speaker goes. You can see some adjustment pots right here and right here. I'm sure I could play around with some of these, get the power out a little bit more, but I'm not. I just cannot get over how clean this radio is for its age. All right. Guys, I cannot get over how clean this radio is. It is so clean for a radio this old. Now, this radio was made probably sometime in the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. You know, you were kind of getting to around the peak of a solar cycle. You know, I think they should make more of these 10 meter radios. I also think they should bring Radio Shack back, but I think they should be making more of these 10 meter radios, especially right now. And we shouldn't have to rely on CB radio manufacturers to build them. I think some amateur radio companies need to spend the money and get their technicians on the air. Other than HTs and 2 meter mobile radios, they really are missing the market. Now, say what you will, but I think Anytone is one of the best radio manufacturers, especially modern radio manufacturers, on the market. And that's because they are actively putting out new radios on a yearly basis, designed for technicians. 10 meter radios that are ready to go out of the box, almost 100 watts, depending on what you buy. Whether you're purchasing an export radio or just good 10 meter radio, Anytone is doing a great job. Retevis is putting some out that I think are pretty good. I want to get my hands on one of those HS4s. And I know some people that are getting those on FT8 and digital modes, which is pretty interesting. So this is, I think, the wrong screw. So we're going to back that out. But I just think it's so interesting. Nope, that's right. We're at such a good time in the solar cycle. Technicians need to get on the air. I think technicians ought to get more HF privileges, maybe just a lower power, something like that. But I'm sure some ham out there says that if they don't know code, they aren't a real amateur radio operator, and they don't want to share the bands with people like that, with technician operators. But I think this hobby can be fun for everyone. And I think if you poo-poo on somebody's hobby, then you have problems. But this radio is cool. I like it. I like the orange. It's a nice, funky 90s retro look. I was not alive in the 90s, but, pretty funky, pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and put this mobile mounting bracket on there, mainly so I don't lose it or put it with something else, but also because it gives me a little handle to grab. I really thought I was going to sell this radio. I knew I couldn't mod it for 11 meters, so I couldn't sell it in the CB shop, but I was very impressed. I might do some custom engraving on it, you know, really make it fun. I don't think amateur radio is fun enough. I think people treat this hobby kind of snobbishly. So I think doing fun stuff like custom engraving and other things to your radios are fun as well, especially bow fangs. Why bow fangs? Because they are so dadgum cheap. You can play around, paint your bow fang. If you don't like it, you can paint it again, and guess what? You're out. $18 whole dollars. Now, $18 to some people may be a lot. I fully understand that. There was a time, even right now, $18 is a lot of money. You can buy a lot of stuff with that, or one coffee at Starbucks. But man, what a cool radio. What a clean find on eBay for a whopping $85. This one's a keeper. Should I do something fun with it or leave it stop? 73 guys, thanks for watching.